Now, it may not be the most iconic, and it may not be the one that strikes fear into the hearts of everybody that sees it. However, one state stands alone as probably the most unique patch and symbol that we've ever seen in law enforcement. And it's the Utah Highway Patrol Beehive. And today we're going to talk about it. So a while back, I'm doom scrolling and I come across a video of the Utah Highway Patrol doing whatever it is that they were doing. And as one of the troopers walked by, I saw the patch on their shoulder and I said, there is no way that is what I think it is. Google search, turns out it is. Turns out it's a beehive. And the story behind the beehive is actually relatively interesting. Exploring a little bit of Utah history, Utah was granted statehood on January 4th of 1896. The Utah Highway Patrol was later founded in 1923. And then, on March 4th of 1959, with House Bill number 34, Utah would officially become known as the Beehive State. The beehive symbol itself is credited to Brigham Young, the first territorial governor of Utah. He was the governor from 1851 until his resignation in 1858. 1851 is when we start to see the beehive appear on the seal for the territory of Utah. And then in 1896, with the first state legislature, is when the beehive was officially adopted and placed into the state seal. Now, as far as the actual symbolism of the beehive and where the beehive came from in the first place, you got to trace that back to the Mormon settlers of 1847. The beehive was chosen as a symbol to represent industry, unity, and hard work. So yes, the same kind, industrious people that brought the cute little symbol of a beehive to their state seal also invented soaking. So one step forward, two steps back, I guess. Moving on. So if you're still not connecting the ideals of industry, unity, and hard work to a beehive, I'm sorry you failed elementary school biology. Beehives exist and thrive based on the hard work of the colony, and the unity of the hive as a whole is what guarantees their survival. And you're sitting there going, okay, but you forgot about industry. As far as industry goes, bees will put a beehive anywhere, okay? Other than your usual, you've got the ones hanging from limbs of trees, you've got the ones that are in the trunks of trees. Bees have put beehives in the most random places that you could possibly imagine. While researching all this, I read a story that a beehive was found inside of a toilet. Bees went in, sealed off the dang thing, made it to where there was one way in and one way out, sealed off the whole thing, and inside of this toilet was a thriving colony of bees. And if that doesn't say industry, I don't know what does. So in conclusion on why they would actually use a beehive, well, because bees are just straight up gangsters, right? There's nothing that's going to stand in their way. Except for real estate developers destroying their natural habitats, which is going to crash farming in other parts of the ecosystem if I can't. You know what? Nope. Back to center. Back to center. We're moving on. We're moving on. Anyway, sorry about that. Getting back on the Utah Highway Patrol. It's 1923. The Utah Highway Patrol has been founded. Fast forward to 1947, and the beehive becomes the official symbol of the Utah Highway Patrol. It wasn't until 3 years later in 1950 when the beehive would make its way to the Utah Highway Patrol cars. A Utah Highway Patrol car is pretty distinguishable. It's solid white. It's got the beehive on the front doors on driver and passenger side. Has State Trooper written across the front quarter panels and Highway Patrol written there across the back bumper. Throughout its storied history, the Utah Highway Patrol has made some headlines over the years. One Sergeant Robert Hayward was actually the man who arrested Ted Bundy while Bundy was potentially stalking his next victim. Bundy was parked outside of a residence that Big Sarge was actually parked just a couple houses down finishing his end of shift paperwork when he noticed Bundy sitting in front of this house. Car was blacked out, and he knew that the family, well, the parents of the two young girls staying inside of the house were out of town. And so no reason for Bundy to be there except for some kind of nefarious action. Big Sarge went out and did work. I'm going to be covering him in a separate video later on. And that's it. That's your condensed version of the Utah Highway Patrol Beehive emblem and the beehive as the state symbol of Utah as a whole. If you stuck around this long, thank you. I really appreciate it. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if there's any other kind of police history you want me to be going into. I plan on trying to get better at this as it goes along, get more in-depth into it. This is just kind of an easy one to cut my teeth on to see if this is anything that anybody would be interested in the first place. And with that, 1042.